Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the X-Men Nemesis Build-A-Figure Wave, the X-Men Age of Apocalypse Gambit. So, another Age of Apocalypse figure. We had gotten two full entire waves of Age of Apocalypse. We had a deluxe figure release in the form of Apocalypse himself. So we thought we were done with Age of Apocalypse, but no, we are not done. Here we are, I don't know, 2 years later. I don't remember exactly how long it's been since we got those. I want to say it's been a couple of years. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm just the sea of Marvel Legends and the time just slips away and I don't know when they came out. But it's been a while since we've gotten the X-Men Age of Apocalypse wave. So I didn't think we were going to be getting any more. But then we got Gambit announced. So we got a Gambit. And I think a lot of people really wanted Gambit from Age of Apocalypse. So it makes sense that we would do it. So I can see Hasbro from time to time releasing different X-Men Age of Apocalypse characters. So the big question is, who would be next? Who would you guys like to see released for X-Men Age of Apocalypse? I've seen a lot of people want a Mr. Sinister, perhaps. We shall see, but you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. But let's talk about Gambit. So looking at the package here, got the Build-A-Figure Nemesis there. The interesting thing is Gambit is one of those ones that gets 3 different artworks. So you get this particular artwork here of Gambit. So there's that. You get the side artwork of Gambit there. That is not the same. Wait, is it the same? I feel like it's not the same. This one looks way more detailed than this, but I guess it could be similar. And then you get a whole different look here on the back for Gambit as well. So there we go. The entire wave here, we are just going to simply go in order. First was the Extreme Wolverine, then next was X-Force Nightcrawler. We are on AOA Gambit. Next will be X-Factor Cyclops, excuse me. Then Marrow, then Generation X Husk, and then Fabian Cortez to finish it out before we take a look at Nemesis Holocaust, Apocalypse's son there. So, Gambit, the bio reads, Gambit is sent on a mission to help correct the timeline and prevent the immortal villain Apocalypse from conquering Earth. So there we go. Let's go ahead and get Gambit out of the package and let's take a look. And oh my goodness, I never got a regular Gambit figure out so I can compare. I better do that. So here we go. All right, we got the Gambit figure out of the package. You know what? This is going to be a little bit of a fun one. There's going to be some restrictions because of the cape thing. It being just, hard plastic. It just gets in the way because you can't really get any movement out of it or anything like that. But you know what? This is definitely going to be a fun one. He's severely lacking in paint, but I don't mind. It has a good look to it. I think it's going to be a bit of a fun one, just kind of posing around. So that is really cool. In terms of accessories, here's what Gambit has. He's got his bow staff there, and then he just has a grip hand for the right, and then like the card throwing hand there for the left without any cards. And then we get a pair of fists to go with him, which is cool. And then we get a leg for the Build-A-Figure. I thought the package was kind of heavy for Gambit. I was thinking, man, that leg's got to be super heavy. Having the leg now in my hand, it's not all that heavy. It almost feels hollow, but I don't know that it is. It's kind of weird. I was thinking, oh man, it's going to be really heavy. But he's definitely going to be a big one because there is the leg. And you can see how tall the leg is by itself. So going to be a big one. Going to be an exciting Build-A-Figure to put together. So that is going to be really cool. We get a lot of nice sculpted detail here in this thing. So we're going to throw this off to the side and we'll take a look at that video at the end after we look at all the other figures in the wave. So that is going to be exciting. Stick around for that. I don't know how often I'm going to be able to release these videos, if it's going to be 2 a day, 1 a day. We're going to kind of get through it as quickly as I can because I am recording 3 videos in a row this Sunday morning because it is Super Bowl Sunday. And I want to be able to get through all of these figures in this way because I got a bunch of stuff to show you guys. All the X-Men Apocalypse stuff. Not Apocalypse. Nemesis Build-A-Figure Wave stuff. And then I got a bunch of other stuff. So here we go. Let's check out Gambit. Just a heads up. I think I forgot to mention this. I got the entire wave from ToySnowman.com. They are based in Canada. They get all kinds of action figures. So anything that you collect, Toy Snowman is likely to have it. So check them out. They have their Black Ice sale happening right now. All in-stock items are on sale. 15 to 80% off at the time of this recording. Unfortunately, Gambit is sold out, but you can get Wolverine. He is in stock right now for shipping at the time of this recording. And then Nightcrawler is available to pre-order, and I think Cyclops is also available to pre-order. So check them out, toysnowman.com. Link in the video description below, which is my referral link. So if it's your first time to Toy Snowman, you create a new account, new accounts only, you will get a 5% off coupon code to use on a future purchase. So toysnowman.com. Check them out. Here we have AOA Gambit. Let's zoom in and take a closer look. Okay, so here we have a close look at Gambit, and this looks really good. It's hard to tell, but he does have his signature red eyes in there. They're just like very squinted down and small, but he does have them in there, and that is good. The hair is sculpted nicely. You can see kind of the hair draping over the headband that he's wearing in there. So really good. The digital face print is nice. You get a little 5 o'clock shadow goatee going on there, so no complaints there. This cape thing is kind of a thick cape down here, you know, and it's just kind of heavy, and it's there, it just sits there. You can't really do anything with it. You can't move it around, pose it around. It looks very weird because it drapes over him a very certain way, but you know, it gives us the signature look there. It looks like we get a couple of new things going on here. So the lower legs are going to be new because those are new boots, and then the arms are going to be new as well, but the upper torso looks like the Spider-Man 2099 body, the all new, all different Spider-Man 2099. Some of you guys call it the Sunfire body. We got that there. These legs are pretty smooth and not a whole lot of muscle definition going on in them. I don't know if they're reused or not. They likely are, but just a heads up on that. We have this little red band there on his leg that just kind of is floating piece, and then you got these knee pads on there. So that is Gambit. Again, we get the bow staff, same one that we see all the time with all the Gambit figures that we get. Belt on there, nice gold buckle there, and then we get gold paint on those pouches for the buttons there. So that is our AOA Gambit there, looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and check out his articulation. Okay, so Gambit can look up that much. His head is on a disc hinge. He can look down that much there. That is good. You get a full rotation in there and not really any pivot going on. You get the arm to go straight out and upwards a little bit. You get a full rotation in that shoulder. You get an upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow. Gives you that much bend there at the elbow, which is quite nice. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on all of the hands, including the fist. There is a butterfly joint in here, but the butterfly joint can be a little tricky when you got this big old red cloak that's kind of just getting in the way. But you can get that arm to go back really far, which is great. And then coming forward, you can get a fair amount in there. Let's hinge that shoulder just right so you can get some crossbody going there. So that is good. We get the ab crunch on Gambit, so he can crunch forward that much there. You can go back, but here's the problem when you go back, because you got that cape that's really just going to get in the way there. You get a waist swivel in there, so you just kind of move that belt around as needed to be able to move that waist. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that far, so that is very high. That is good. Leg goes back tiny bit, not a whole lot. You got an upper thigh cut in there, double jointed pinless knee there, so that is good. No boot swivel. That's now the third figure in the wave out of 3 with no boot swivel. Interesting. Foot hinges down all the way. Foot hinges up quite a bit. Ankle pivot. Peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Forgot to mention this earlier. We get a little bit of gold paint on those boots for those rings. Only 1 on the left. You got 3 on the right. But there is Gambit's articulation, and it is pretty good. I got no complaints there with the articulation. The only complaint is going to be getting this thing in a position that you want it to where it's really not in the way. But I mean, we don't get soft goods with Hasbro because they haven't quite figured out how to do soft goods real well anyway. And I mean, how would you do soft goods on this? I'm sure there's a way, but again, I don't know that Hasbro is quite there when it comes to soft goods stuff. Okay, so X-Men Age of Apocalypse did one of those things where it's like, you know, we got the designs for every character here. We're going to go ahead and basically change every single one of them, right? Gambit, obviously, no exception to that, but you could see some of the inspiration in terms of color-ish pattern between what we know of Gambit from the comics to Age of Apocalypse. So it's, you know, you could see the browns instead of the trench coat. You got the browns on his boots and his arms and stuff, and then, you know, instead of like the pinkish reddish color that you would typically see, you kind of get that cape and that band around his leg there. I'm guessing that's kind of how they did it. But you know, one thing about Gambit, he's always got the cool hair though going for him there. So I brought out the X-Men 97 Gambit because it was the one I could just most easily get to be able to show you guys a side-by-side comparison, because initially I had forgotten to grab a Gambit figure. But there we go. This new AOA Gambit, I will tell you, is definitely going to move a whole lot better than the previous versions of Gambit, because the trench coat was just very restrictive. So this one we can get a lot more movement in there, and we actually get double jointed elbows with him, which is really good there. So, but let's go ahead and see Gambit with a couple of AOA characters that we have gotten in the past. So here we've got Wolverine, Logan, Gambit, X-Men Age of Apocalypse, but that's not the only one I want to bring out. Of course, I just brought out, probably the most recognizable. But really, I wanted to bring out Rogue. We did get an AOA Rogue, and Gambit did fall in love with Rogue, but sadly, Rogue was in love with Magneto, and not Gambit. So there we go there. Interesting. We typically know Gambit and Rogue, but Gambit, in this particular story, he did fall in love with Rogue, but Rogue was in love with Magneto and had a child with Magneto and all of that. So that's why I brought out these particular characters to show you guys from X-Men Age of Apocalypse. We did get 2 full waves. So we had like Sabretooth, Wild Thing, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Cyclops, Apocalypse. We had Sugarman. We had Colossus, Build-A-Figure. We had... Who else did we have? My goodness, I cannot think of who else we got in those 2 waves. But we had a bunch of X-Men Age of Apocalypse. We had a Morph. I can't think of any others. But those are the ones that we had gotten. Again, maybe we will start to see more sprinkled throughout future waves or future releases, or who knows what's going on. Maybe they even do like a multi-pack or something. I honestly have no idea. I know there's a leak list out there of what people know is supposed to be coming out. I honestly have not read it. I don't know what the plan is. So to me, Gambit was kind of a complete surprise. I'm like, oh, another Age of Apocalypse figure. Maybe we'll see more, but you guys let me know what you guys think of Age of Apocalypse figures. Do you want to see more? And more specifically, who would you like to see released next? We are rolling right along here. So here we have the Nemesis Build-A-Figure wave so far, in that I have reviewed the Extreme Wolverine, the X-Force Nightcrawler, and now the AOA Gambit. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this wave so far? And more importantly, what do you think of this Gambit figure? I think it's a lot of fun. Posability is definitely better than previous Gambit figures that we had gotten. Interesting design choices when it comes to AOA. I'm not really the biggest fan, but hey, it gives us a pretty good, well-articulated figure that gives us what we want in terms of a Gambit from AOA. So let me know what you guys think of it down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.